Many people simply feel as if women are these beings who are impossible to understand. See, it is easy to understand women as a man if you can understand your needs and, well, your desires as well. Because women, they're not going to be much different. See, they still have a physical body, so honestly, they will have very similar necessities and the such, not necessarily the same. But some people asked, and I would see that on forums, like they don't understand what they should do as a man in a relationship to make their girlfriends or their wives happy. See, the very simple misunderstanding is you don't do things necessarily to make another person happy. You have to be a bit observative of the other person and see how they function and how they generally are. Because if they are generally miserable, you're not going to be the one who's going to make them happy necessarily. Some people, you have to understand, they invest a lot into their traumas, so they are not able to be saved because whatever you do, they will simply slip back into their comfort zone, which is their trauma or victimization or the such. These are numerous cases in the world because the whole world is miserable, and you'll see the next year it will be a year of great mental breakdowns. It will be a mental breakdown pandemic, and well, you don't have to believe me, you just wait and see. So, when it comes to so called making the other person happy, see, first ask yourself, are they even capable of being happy? Because if you haven't seen your person smile ever, or they're just faking it, well, the very simple point is most likely you're not going to succeed anyways. So some people simply don't have much of an awareness, or they're just waking up to socialization, to the world and how things function. So many people might ask, how do I figure that out? See, in case you're not capable of figuring that out, there is one simple thing which, for example, I do, and this is basically one of my, I can't call them secrets, but one of my go for strategies. So you have to understand women are typically represented by feminine energy. Not always, like not all women are mainly represented by that, but in most situations it is that. So feminine energy is an amplifier. What you give, they will take and give back in return multiplied, right? Take for example our species reproduction. Just like any other species reproduction, right? They only need one cell from you as a man, and they give you back a child later on, right? It is the way divine feminine energy functions. They take something, they multiply it, and they return much more in well, after a while, because that's how it functions when it includes you in their life, because that's how feminine love exists. It includes you in their life. If you give them depression, they're gonna give you far more depression. See, the point is, your woman should actually make your life shouldn't make your life hard, but most likely your PP hard, right? And miserable women typically make your life miserable. My only strategy, I mean, not my only strategy, I've got multiple of those, but this is a little secret. See, my only objective, or a objective which I mainly focus on, is to make girls feel good in their own skin. And this doesn't necessarily have to be sex, obviously, because sex doesn't always necessarily make a girl feel better in her skin. If you try it, and she's not feeling good in her skin, I assure you it's gonna give her more depression, or she's gonna make her more codependent, or she is somewhat codependent. Because when she doesn't feel good in her skin, the point is, she will probably feel a bit guilty about you being capable to observe that, and she will feel somewhat awkward. I can't put it exactly into words, but it's like this. When men are pissed or sad, they typically go inside, right? They become that fortress because that's male energy, and typically it's hard to break them out, right? But when a girl is sad or pissed or stressed out or things like that, it's like the whole planet knows, right? Not because she calls everyone and tells them necessarily what happened, but it's because that's how they function. You can feel it in how their mood is, how they speak, how they act. It's like literally their whole existence, presents you what's going on. The greatest problems and struggles in a girl's life, or even a woman's life, obviously, they all stem from them not feeling good in their own skin. It's like they never had someone to slowly take them and allow them to feel, for example, the complex feelings that their bodies can give. Like when you cuddle their hair, for example, and you take it slow, like at the base of the hair bits, for example, above the forehead, if you simply move your fingers through those bits of hair, you will see it is extremely ticklish, right? In most situations, it will be so, right? Like very soft, slow kisses, for example, and all sorts of cuddles, because woman's skin, for example, is far more sensitive than male skin, right? And that is why touch, for example, plays a very great role, right? Like smells and the such. If you make your girl feel good in her skin, she will simply feel so much refreshed, and obviously, she will be a great part of the environment that will basically make your life better. Because as I said, women are amplifiers. You give a girl a house, if she loves you, she will take it and make it a home. Because a house is any object, big enough that you can live in, and well, it doesn't kind of matter much because, it's just some materials slapped together. And well, it can be a tough house, it can be a simple house, it doesn't matter much. A house is simply a house, it's just materials. A home is far different because it can be an apartment, it can be a shed, it can be literally anything, but it feels so much better when you get back tired and there is someone waiting for you at home to share some love and to make your day somewhat better. Because that's what I would see, the idea of a home. When you look at successful people have one aspect that fully represents them, right? Success means when you make your environment support you, which is basically one of the reasons why most people are ignorant, right? Because their environment sucks, it doesn't support them, and it's probably miserable. It makes them miserable, so just people give up. Because honestly, it is impossible. Whatever way you may try, it is impossible to make, to beat your environment. If it stinks of a certain vibration, it will overwhelm you always. Yes, sure, you can slowly and surely turn it more positive, but if you simply leave it the way it is, it will always overwhelm you. So wouldn't it be better to have a positive environment, right? Women are very sensitive. You may look, for example, to buy a house, everything is perfect, everything is good, and even the price may be nice. As a man, you probably love all the details because probably you're highly, detail oriented. The girls simply don't like it because there's some energies or something about, misalignment in some angles of the house, or some energies she simply feels. She doesn't know it necessarily in many cases, but she simply doesn't like the place, right? That can be a good indicative that you should buy or look for another house in some situations. Okay, except the situations where they would fuss that they specifically don't want that place because of whatever reasons they have. But naturally speaking, they are very sensitive to energies. So when it comes to girls and women, I said there is literally nothing more important than making them feel good in their own skin with whatever can make them happy. A few gifts, walking outside, right? Holding hands, or spending some time and doing literally nothing, like literally watching the clouds, or I don't know, not watching movies, okay? Doing literally nothing, right? Like in those anime moments where, the characters just sit back to back, or they sit in bed, or they, stretch themselves in bed, and it's like they cuddle, but they don't say anything. It's just feeling the other person, feeling they are alive, feeling their heartbeat maybe, or their breathing down your shoulders. It's like also cherishing those moments, right? These are things you can do slowly and surely to make sure that, her life feels much better, she will feel much better, and therefore, obviously, your life will be much better, right? This being said, hopefully this video was, well, introspective enough. Hopefully it raised a bit of awareness. You are appreciated. There was far more I could say, but I don't want to make videos too long. This being said, you are appreciated. Take care. Ferenc Board signing out.